Hello, Monarchs. Welcome to the second video for lesson 5.1, day 2. We are graphing linear equations in two variables. If you have not gone back and watched the first video, please go do that now. This will not make sense if you have not watched that yet, okay? So, moving on, we're going to look at example 1. It says complete the table. We have x values, we have an equation, we have y values, and then we have a place to put what our ordered pair is. Okay. For the sake of this example, we're going to use a few different x values, and I'm going to tell you what the x values are. Okay. So here, our x value is going to be negative 2. Okay. Our next x value we're going to use is 0, and the last x value we'll use is 2. Okay, when we're coming up with numbers we're putting into a table, we always want to use one negative, 0, and one positive. That way we get a general idea of which way the line is going. Okay, so now it says our equation is y equals 2x plus 3. And what I'm going to do is highlight this x, because this is where we're going to plug in the numbers we just wrote down. So I'll highlight the numbers we just wrote down in blue just to show that this is where those numbers will be going. Okay. So I'm going to be putting those numbers where we see that x into our new equations. Okay. So I'm going to do y equals, okay. Then I have 2, and then I'm not going to put x, right? I'm not going to put x. Instead of x, I'm going to put in negative 2, because that is what my x value is here. See where it says x up here? I plug in my x value for x. Okay, I know what x is, so I plug in my x value, and then it's just plus 3. Okay, did everyone see it? We got that. We took our x values, we came up with our x values, and then we inputted our x values into our equation, into our y equals mx plus b equation, and then we'll figure out what y equals. Okay, so for this particular one, we would do 2 times negative 2, which is negative 4. Negative 4 plus 3 would be a negative 1. So my y then would be negative 1. Okay, so now my ordered pair would be, remember, x always comes first, and my x was negative 2. So it'll be negative 2, comma, and my y was negative 1. So it's going to be negative 1. Okay, that's my first ordered pair. I'm going to complete the rest of the table, and then we will graph these plots on the table. Okay. Now we are going to do the same thing, but instead of negative 2, we're going to plug in a 0 for x. Okay, so we're going to do y equals, I have 2, and then in parentheses to show we're multiplying. Remember, this is where x is, but we're not going to plug in x because we know what our x is. We're going to plug in our x value over here, which is 0. So I have 2 times 0 plus 3, right? And if I do 2 times 0, that is 0. 0 plus 3 would give me 3. So my y coordinate for this would be 3. So then my ordered pair would be 0, comma, and my y would be 3. Okay, this is my x, this is my y, this is my x, this is my y. Okay, we'll move on to the next one now. I'm going to do the same exact thing. I have y equals, and I'm going to do 2. But instead of x, I'm going to plug in what my x value for this part is, which is 2. So in parentheses to show I'm multiplying, I'm going to plug in a 2, and I'll do plus 3, and that'll give me what my y value is. Okay. So when I do 2 times 2, that is 4. 4 plus 3 would be 7. So my y value would be 7 here. So then my ordered pair, we know that x always comes first. It'll be 2, comma, my y coordinate now is 7. Okay. Now I have 3 different ordered pairs, and we're going to graph them and then draw the line. Okay, we're going to graph them and then draw the line. So my first ordered pair I want to graph is this negative 2, comma, negative 1. So just like our other lines, I always start out going on the x-axis. So I go to negative 2 on the x-axis, which is right here. And then it tells me to go down 1 on the y-axis. So I'm going to go down 1. That is my first point. Okay, that's my first point. That is negative 2, negative 1. All right, now I'm going to go 0, 3. So remember, when my x coordinate is 0, that means I don't go left or right on the x-axis. I stay on the actual axis. So I'm going to stay at 0, and I'm going to go up 3. Okay, that's 0 on the y-axis and 3 on the x-axis. Okay. My next point is going to be 2, comma, 7. So I go to 2 on the x-axis. That is to the right 2 because it's a positive 2. And then remember, on the y-axis, I would just go up to 7, which is going to be the very top. So that would be my last point. Okay. And then ideally we would grab a straight edge and draw this line. I don't have access to a straight edge at the moment, so I'm just going to do my best to draw this line straight through those points. Okay, ideally, that would be a straight line, but I do not have a straight edge, so it's not a straight line. Okay. Remember, we have to draw our arrows on either side of the line too, because a line extends in either direction forever, and the arrows are how we signify that. Okay, so please stay tuned for video 3 for lesson 5.1, day 2.